How's it going, you wonderful people? It's Jay, and in today's video we're going to be looking at more Nintendo 64 games that we want to see added to Switch Online. Let's do this! I still can't quite believe we've got Nintendo 64 games running on the Nintendo Switch. It is a little bit glitchy and has room for improvement, but we can play Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, Star Fox, Sin and Punishment, all these classic and amazing games on the Nintendo 64 on your Switch. And there's more games to come. We've got Majora's Mask on the way, Banjo-Kazooie on the way, loads of classics. So in today's video, we're going to look at some more games that we hope Nintendo will add to the online service. There are 363 games that Nintendo could possibly add to the online service, licensing issues aside. So let's have a look at some of the more rare and obscure ones, plus some fan favourites as well. Everyone knows Bomberman as the cheeky bomb throwing chap who walks around tricky grids to strategically take out enemies with pixel perfect timing. It's a formula that worked really well back in 1983 and still works really well today. But in between the almost 4 decades of explosive action came one of Bomberman's only 3D platforming adventures to date, Bomberman Hero. You leap across challenging 3D levels, throwing and kicking bombs to get by. It's a classic 3D platformer with an incredible soundtrack. The game is super fun and unlike what a standard Bomberman is really known for. A definitive must-have addition to the N64 online app on Switch. Spidey is in full swing at the moment with a slew of amazing films and games on the way. The webhead is very much loved and has featured in the gaming space for decades. How about bringing Peter Parker back to his roots with the N64 release of SpiderMan? Familiar faces, a classic story, and all-out action from the very first time Spidey donned his mask. This game would be a great addition to the N64 catalogue, if licensing allows. It is a fan favourite and one of the best Spider-Man games of all time. Nintendo 64 players were blessed with amazing sports games from Rave Race 64 to 1080 snowboarding, loads of games that really pushed the physics boundary to brand new standards. One of the fan favourites had to be Snowboard Kids. It's a cute, colourful snowboarding game that blends classic downhill speed with items and fancy tricks. Many consider the game to be sort of the Mario Kart of snow sports, and it really shows. You've got tricky courses, hilarious weapons, solid controls, and a quirky cast of racers that make it an N64 essential. Being able to play online with friends would be a great addition to the Switch roster. Speaking of racing games, one of the best kart racing games of all time has to be Diddy Kong Racing. Not even on the N64 alone, but of all time. This classic rare racing game took what Nintendo had forged with Mario Kart and went big. Planes, hovercraft and karts on offer with a huge variety of courses to devour, and what made the game stand out was the meaty story campaign with plenty of replay value, secrets and fierce bosses to battle. With Banjo-Kazooie confirmed to be returning, there's definitely room for Diddy Kong Racing to also make the cut. Being able to race online on Switch would be a dream come true. Could there be more rare games? The British developer brewed up a whole greatest hits collection on the N64. From Banjo to Brosnan, Rare propped up the Nintendo 3D catalogue with genre-defining games. Following on from the success of GoldenEye 007, the studio created a mammoth sci-fi shooter, Perfect Dark. Armed with incredible single-player mode across space and time, and a meaty multiplayer, we really need this game back on a Nintendo platform. To be able to tuck into multiplayer again online would be a huge win for Switch. Give me a fast sight and we're all set. Pokemon Stadium, please, Nintendo! If there's anything that just screams multiplayer, it must be the mighty Pokemon Stadium, one of the most loved classics on the N64. It was the start of big Pokemon battles on the TV and saw some incredibly heated matches between friends, as these could also be done in co-op. Aside from the single-player campaign and gym battles, the star of the show had to be the mini-games. Gobble up sushi, race your rat buddies, throw snake at gyrating moles. We just need Pokemon Stadium on the Switch. It's one of the most essential multiplayer games on the Nintendo 64. Speaking of multiplayer, the original Mario Party game cemented friendships and they broke friendships. The trio were some of the greatest games of the late 90s and early noughties, packed full of fun mini-games, themed maps, absolute chaos until the very last turn. Nintendo have revisited these games already with the gorgeous superstars, so online multiplayer Mario Party is already here and you can already experience it on Nintendo Switch. But why not introduce the original game so fans can see just how they played back in the 90s, the complete Mario Party experience. Both Mario Party 1 and 3 deserve some love on Switch, as neither have seen a re-release since the original appearances. So what did you think of our selection of the Nintendo 64 games that we hope Nintendo would add to the Nintendo Switch Online? Let us know with a comment below. Let us know your ideas, your picks for the service as well with a comment. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more geeky, more retro, more Nintendo videos, you may want to subscribe. And before you move on to the next video, be sure to check out our exclusive merch, Geeky and Gaming Designs voted for by you. Links are in the description below. A huge thank you for all your support. Hope you enjoyed this video. Grab that N64 controller, or your Joy-Cons, or your Switch Pro controller, and start playing N64 now.